everybody. Well, it's not a good day for GNN Services. Oh, everything's going well. Got plenty of work, busy. But the job I'm fixing to do today is it's kind of one of those jobs where you want to do it, but what's involved in doing it just makes you sick to your stomach. Alright, so let me tell you a little bit about the job and you can make your own decisions. Go out to a unit the other day, compressor's not starting up, check the amps, blah 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 blah. Finally I get the thing started running, and they called me back 4 days later. Well, let me back up a little bit. The last guy that was out prior to me, about 3 weeks prior to me, had put stop leak in the system. And I was like, oh my god. I mean, I could smell it. It was awful. I did check the Freon. It seemed to be okay, but anyway. So the guy calls me 4 days later and says, hey, my unit's not running again. So I go out there, check the compressor. Got a bad winding. So I tell him, hey man, gotta have a new compressor. So here's where the bad part comes in. The unit is less than 5 years old. Matter of fact, when I went to go pick up the compressor, the ship date on that unit was 5 years to the day. So, stuff's still under warranty. Why in God's name, let me say that again, why in God's name would anybody in their right flippin' mind put stop leak in a unit that's still under warranty? Well, here's the story they gave the people. It's going to take us all day long. It could take us all day long to find this leak. Multiple $100s to do it. You just need to put the stop leak in and that'll take care of your problem. Less than a month later, they have a bad compressor. Now, there's certain procedures you have to follow when you're got stop leak in the system and you got to open it up. And this is what guys don't understand. When you put this stuff in the system and somebody comes out and there's a bad part, you should have just went up there and checked for the leak anyway and found it and said, look, there's nothing we can do. That stuff that you're putting in somebody's system is snake oil and it's bad for the system. Now, I had a friend call me this morning and I was telling him about this job and he said, it's not one of mine, is it? I said, well, Mark, me and you are going to have a problem if you put that stuff in systems. He said, oh no, I wouldn't do it. He said, I have done it on 3 systems. One was my dad's system, and I said, man, you must not like your dad very much. He said, no, we just want to see how long it would go because he knew he was going to be changing it out. Well, less than a year, the compressor died in it. The next one, the homeowner insisted that he put it in. He had been studying online about it, and he insisted on this one particular brand. That compressor, Mark said, was sounding really, really bad. Now that's 2 compressors. I know compressors go bad, and I have done this for a really long time, and I have changed my share of compressors. But when they have stop leak in them, I'm laying my money on stop leak causing the problem. So anyway, and then the third one leaked out again, less than a year. So look. So anyway, so I'm gonna I gotta get something to eat before I go over this job. Then I'm gonna go to the job and we'll show you the procedures, what we had to do in order to work on this stuff with stop leak in it. But we'll see you over there. Well, I was sad about the job, but nothing makes you feel better than a Hostess cupcake and a Dr. Pepper in the morning. So anyway, I'll be better after I have my cupcakes and get over that job. Okay, so here's my unit. What I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to close the valves here in just a minute, but then I'm going to cut the liquid line here, and I'm going to crimp it off here. I'm going to cut it back, crimp it off, or I'll crimp it where I cut it, and I'm going to blow the hell out of it with nitrogen to help clean some of that stuff out of the coil and the line set stuff. And then when I get done with that, I'll put the dryer in, and then what I'll do is I'll just keep the valves closed. Well, I have to open them back up again, and then what I'll do is I'll cut the lines on the compressor with nitrogen flowing through the whole thing the whole time, and that way it's not exposed to any air whatsoever at any time. So that'll keep it from gelling inside the system unnecessarily. And then I don't know. This is just one of those tough jobs that you just, what are you gonna do? But I'm gonna go ahead and get this line and run some nitrogen through it. And I'm gonna run it, like I said, I'm gonna run it through the suction line, and then that way if there's anything in the metering device, it will blow it back out this way. Alright, what I've done is I've got my nitrogen hooked up, and I'm running a couple 100 pounds through there. Run it through the liquid, or through the suction line here. Run it back up through the coil and back down here. Well, what I've done is I've taken my threaded core out of the liquid side, so I'm blowing it back through there too. Back through the condenser coil as well. Now, when I get done here doing this, I don't know, I'm kind of playing it by ear as we go along. So I mean, whatever I think is going to be the best way to do it is what I'm going to do. So that's what I'm going to do. So now, here in just a couple minutes, I'm going to, I'm going to let this stuff run for a little bit. In a couple minutes, I'm going to put my dryer in, and then start pulling the compressor out. And as I do, I'm going to be running nitrogen through this thing the whole time to keep this damn stop leak, whatever's left in the system, from gelling up. So that's going to be my plan. While I am running nitrogen through here, I will be having the suction line valve closed, so it's running nitrogen through just the line and not the condenser at the same time. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to close the liquid side and then start running nitrogen through at a slow pace so I can blaze the dryer in. So now my liquid line is closed. I'll close my suction line. It's closed off. I'm going to lower my pressure to just a slow crawl in my nitrogen, and I'm going to get it brazed up. Alright, when you brazing or unsweating your compressor, that smoke that comes out of there is very toxic. It's almost like mustard gas. You really got to be careful, extremely careful, because it will get you if you're not paying attention. Well, of course, Rim would change the design of the compressor, or put a scroll compressor in place of a reciprocating. Of course they would. So I'm gonna cut this line here, put it over here, expand this one here, and this one, as you see, comes out the top. So we're gonna figure it out. The muffler just may leave. I don't know. And the day gets longer Alright, so I pulled the dryer out. I mean the muffler, sorry. Pulled the muffler out, reconfigured it, and it's alright because this is not a heat pump. Doesn't really need a muffler anyway. Redid my lines there, and then I called the supply house because I'm switching from a reciprocating compressor that's in the box already to a scroll compressor to find out what size capacitor I needed. Fellas, they gave me the wrong compressor. So now I gotta run down there, get another compressor, come back up and pull that compressor out, put a new one in. But I've got nitrogen on the system, so it's not going to leak out. But I did find the original leak that caused the problem in the first place, and that was the liquid valve. That was the reason the stupid thing was leaking to begin with. So I'm going to actually call them back and say, hey, I need a liquid valve. So who knows? I might get a new unit out the deal. Who knows? Well, I think I found the valve at the supply house. I called them. When I went back to go get the other compressor, well, this compressor is the right compressor, so we're gonna see if we can't take care of this one. See if Nylog will get to stop leaking. That's definitely where the leak is. So, well, that's calmed it down a whole lot. Put it on a nitrogen test and see what happens. Alright, so it's 86.6. That's how many pounds is in it of nitrogen right this minute. It's bouncing 86.4, 86.6. So I'm gonna let that stand for a while, and then if I'm happy with it, I'll start pulling the vacuum, see how far we can get it to go down. Alright, so as you can see from the gauges, I was at 86.6, 86.7, and now we've dropped 86.3. So this thing definitely does have a leak in it. I've checked my braze joints and nothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get a little R22 and put it in there as a tracer. I'm going to get my leak detector out, and I'm going to get the old bloodhound out and see if the bloodhound can see if there's a leak out here. If there's not a leak out here, then we'll just have to wait till he gets home and go upstairs and check the indoor coil. Because here's my dilemma. Change the compressor. Okay. Let me stop for a second. Alright. So you fellas or whoever is putting stop leak in the system. Alright. 99.9% of the time the stuff does not work. Right? You give the homeowners false hope about snake oil. There's that 1% it does work. Now, had the guy that put stop leak in this system would have said, well, wait, let's find the leak, and found the leak, then we probably wouldn't even be changing this compressor today. So now, it's starting to rain, and homeowner's not here. So I'm kind of in one of those catch-22 situations. Can't really pull it back in because I will be sucking air into the system. So there you go. Alright, the homeowner just sent me a text. He'll be here in about 10 minutes or so. And when he gets here, we're gonna have to go upstairs, check for the leak in the coil, and like I said, I'm gonna say it one more time, for all you people that think this stop leak works, I'm getting ready to show you it doesn't. Let me show you. They did leave the sticker on this unit. They didn't put a date. Right there's a sticker. So, I'll ask the homeowner how long it's been since the last guy was here. Alright fellas, so we did find a leak, and I am pulling a vacuum on the system, even though I've explained to the homeowner and he just he can't do it right now, change the coil. If the guy would have, man, I don't know, it's like beating a dead horse. If the guy would have just found the leak to begin with, it only took me 10 minutes to find it. There would have been no stop leak in the system whatsoever. And like I said, I wouldn't be standing here at this job. You know, but I am. And so I'm going to try to do as best I can do. I've explained to them that if I start pulling a vacuum on this system with a hole in the coil, I'm just pulling air into the system. So, if we put a new coil in, we'll probably have to change. We will have to change the Freon out on it because I'm sucking air into it as we speak. So, and he understands that, but he just can't do it right this minute. So, all right, I think that's going to be it for this video. It's a sad world we live in today. Once again, I must say, it'll be the last time I say, well, maybe not. If you use stop leak, it is almost unethical to use. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. The stuff does not work. It's snake oil, and all you're doing is taking advantage of a customer trying to save some money. It's going to wind up costing them more money in the long run than if they just change the coil. Or if you're not going to fix the coil, if you're not going to find a leak, just put Freon in the stupid thing and go on about your business. Do not, please do not put stop leak in these systems.